What is the latest then as we approach President Trump's deadline later today?
Well, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent there framing it as sometimes you have to escalate to de-escalate, and that is exactly the situation that we may be in the coming 24 hours. I'm referring to the post that President Trump put up over the weekend, specifically at 7:44 p.m. on Saturday. And the reason I cite that time is because he's basically given Iran a 48-hour ultimatum to reopen the straits without threat, or else, he says, the U.S. will hit and obliterate various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Now, Iran were quick to retaliate as ever, and they said that if that does happen, and if civilian infrastructure is targeted, then they, in turn, will strike back on all energy, information technology, and desalination infrastructure linked to the U.S. and Israel in the region. And so what we're sitting on here now is sort of wait and see to see whether the U.S. administration, whether Trump actually acts on that ultimatum. We expect that to occur at some point in the middle of the night, the 48-hour window. But overnight as well, Iran went one step further. The Speaker of the Parliament also put out a post suggesting that any U.S. financial institution that also has bought U.S. treasuries may also be deemed a risk as well. And so as we enter into day 24 of this war, Anna, really no signs at all that things are de-escalating. In fact, quite the opposite. And if that does happen, that's all going to play out over the series of weeks, not necessarily days, which also implies that what we're settling in for now is another few weeks of this at the very least, as opposed to a conflict that could be resolved in the coming days, or as President Trump suggested on Friday, that they would be looking to wind down soon.